Every collapsed democracy thought it was different, right up until it wasn't. Because many times the most dangerous moments in history don't announce themselves. They simply look ordinary while they're happening.
They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done. They poison mental institutions and prisons all over the world, not just in South America, not just the 3 or 4 countries that we think about, but all over the world. They're coming into our country from Africa, from Asia, all over the world. They're pouring into our country. Nobody's even looking at them. They just come in. The crime is going to be tremendous.
Welcome to American News Trust. I'm Steele Black. If you care about democracy, stay with this channel, like and share, because this conversation is about history and what's happening today, not partisanship. It's about saving our democracy. In the early 1930s, millions of Germans believed their democracy would survive. Adolf Hitler was viewed as extreme, but manageable. Institutions, they thought, would restrain him. The Constitution would hold. History shows how costly that assumption was. Today, the United States faces a different era, but one that historians and democracy scholars warn carries troubling parallels. Authoritarianism rarely arrives all at once. It advances when norms are eroded, power is centralized, and required accountability is delayed. One of the earliest indicators of democratic decline is rule by sole executive action, meaning rule by one person. And think about this. The present conservative majority in Congress has produced the least legislation in modern history, and as a result has facilitated the unchecked expansion of executive authority. Or in this case, our GOP-led Congress has failed to place any checks on the authority of Donald Trump. Political scientists consistently warn that this imbalance weakens democracy and concentrates power in ways that are difficult to reverse. Another warning sign is the erosion of respect for democratic institutions. Democracies falter when courts, legislatures, and the press are treated not as safeguards, but as obstacles or enemies of the executive branch. Executive attacks on these institutions normalize the idea that executive accountability is optional. History also teaches that authoritarian movements rely on scapegoating. In 1930s Germany, minorities and political opponents were blamed for national decline. In modern America, civil rights organizations have documented an increase in dehumanizing rhetoric aimed at immigrants, racial minorities, religious groups, LGBTQ people, journalists, and political opponents. Rhetoric that deepens division and correlates with real-world harm.
They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done.
Words matter. History proves that words are never just rhetoric. Authoritarian leaders are often framed as national saviors, figures who promise order, pride, and restoration. That emotional appeal is powerful, but when nationalism becomes bigoted and exclusionary, history shows where it leads. Democracy does not collapse when citizens disagree. It collapses when citizens assume the system will protect itself. The lessons of the 1930s is not that catastrophe was inevitable. In the end, it was the delay, failing to preserve and restore norms, like how Congress is failing to check the president today. That failure to act is what made peaceful resistance in 1930s Germany impossible. If we value constitutional government, then oversight, accountability, and lawful remedies are not radical. They are essential. Democracies survive only when citizens and elected officials make sure they do, by insisting that they do. Before doing so becomes too dangerous. History has already given us the warning. The only unanswered question is whether we choose to listen, remembering that history doesn't repeat itself when people are watching. It repeats when people look away.